We there yet? We there yet? We're there. Alrighty. Hey, everybody. I'm Rob the Builder. Can we build it? Yes, we can. Now, today, what's this? Oh, I forgot that. Sorry, don't mind me for a moment, guys. Forgot that to go onto X now. I need a premium account. Got news for, yes. And I've got to go through a whole palaver. At the end of the day, I choose not to pay Elon money. Yes, I do. I'll post some pics instead. Anyway, now I've gotten that out of the way. Today we're continuing our work on the Italeri C-47. I discovered a small issue with it this morning, but that's all good in the hood. Largely on account of, well, you'll soon see why, because I've got a nice little jig that's going to make things easy for us to address. Yes, it will. And along the way, we'll do some other stuff. All right. I'm going to stop waffling, and I'm going to get down to business. I am. Now, excuse me, I haven't got an itchy ear. Deary me. Now, do I want to flick that light on? No. I do, however, wish to give you a different camera angle. Now, out, down. Now, our issue, let me just move it a little bit closer. There we go. And maybe across there we go. And in. And I need a mouthful of coffee. I mean, really now, what goes on here? I'll try and not get in front of you. That's not going to happen, is it? All right, there we go. Now, our issue, I'm actually going to take this. We'll be using this later. Not today. Well, we will use it today, but not right now. Because, now which one was it? This one. No, one of these was a bit unstuck. This one. Yeah. Now, what I might as well as do is get that lined up. It's now in the correct. When I put it upside down, or not upside down, right side up, perhaps is more the correct term, the wheel didn't hold its position. This is, as I'm sure you'd agree, suboptimal. Now, give me a moment. There we go. I'll zoom in just a little. Now, what I'm thinking and hoping is, now what I might also benefit from, now, you know, this is where, now that I think about it, okay, because what we're going to do, we will get that jig back over, because very obviously, it was just, doesn't really matter how I go about it. Very obviously, that's going to hold it much more flat. I don't actually even need to raise these up, which is kind of cool. They do go up, but don't really care at this stage. That's fine. That's quite stable. And what I'm going to do is then hit the relevant contact points here with this. And then we're going to let them dry. I'll just move that out of the way because we've got some engine work as a part. You can't see. Oh, I'm hitting it with this. Now, this is extra thin glue. The idea is that you apply this. I'm not even getting any on my brush. This is another reason why I'm not a big fan of these sorts of mechanisms. There we go. Now we'll want to go into there. And a bit more. Now the way these are supposed to work is that being very thin, the glue goes into the crevices and melts accordingly, but much more. There we go. Now, I might give that just a little more. Now, once we've got this done, there we go. It's supposed to dry in a matter of seconds, they reckon. There we go. This one's the one, well, you sort of saw the bottom of what I was doing. So let's have a look. No, you won't. We'll let that. But yeah, you can see it's not as sturdy as I'd like. Rubbing. Is there another way? Possibly. I'm not satisfied with that. That's the bottom line here. Now, once we got that to a point where I am satisfied, there's a little caveat all on its own. What we're going to do is get this out the way and do some work on our engines. But first, good people, what we're going to do, and then once we've done that bit of work on the engines, we're going to do some decaling. Yes. Now, we'll also grab a toothpick. Now, it's all a bit quiet, but I'm unsurprised. There's been a very eventful occurrence in the US. That's where a lot of my viewers usually come from. Yeah. It's, yeah. I do wonder how that's going to roll out in the longer term. As far as what I'm talking about here is the political situation in the US where Biden has stepped, or the sitting president basically is the nuts and bolts here, has stepped out of the race. And it's a bit interesting politically, if you're into that sort of thing. And I actually am, believe it or not. And I'm waffling, but never mind. If people are not going to distract me with other lines of conversation, I will make my own. Yeah, get your noggin around there anytime you're ready. Hey, how you doing, Penny? Now, just trying to get this wheel to be a bit more stable. It's making me an unhappy camper. Well, that's an exaggeration, but yeah, it's not the way I want it to be. If you follow me. Now, what I'm going to do next is move this over to here for the time being, I reckon. Jesus. And almost knocked it off. Now, give me a moment. There we go. Very good. These two things we need to keep track of. You probably can't even see them. These, they are wheel stems Are you at your workbench at the moment, Penny? Or are you just cruising on the YouTube? Now drop them into there. Then I'll know where they are. Yes, I will. Now, there's a thing here with the engines that we need to get onto, that I will need to make. Oh, did you want to join on the screen, or don't you have a camera set up at the moment? Now, there's a little grill thing that goes in there. It's part of an air vent. And I lost the 2 discs that make that. Now, what I'm going to do, I have a cunning plan. Yes, I do. Which is not that cunning, to be honest. Now, give me a moment. I was asking if you were, if you wanted to come on camera, or whether you had a camera even ready to go. Because if you do, I can always flick the link up. Now, what I'm doing now is, give me a moment. Here we go. I'm probably best served to zoom in for this. Just let me move that a bit. Now, the parts we're looking for need to fill that. Well, the parts we need to create need to fill that. Now, that's not a big trick, I'm sure you'd agree. And something I might even want to consider, give me a moment, is, I'll zoom you out so you can see what I'm talking about here. Whoop. Okay, hang on a moment. I'm just going to have a quick gander at something here, and then I'll flick the link up. Now, what I was trying to find out or work out was whether or not I could pretend. Give me a closer look. I might be able to. I'm trying to see how much margin of error I've got on this as far as when it would go on the wing. Okay. So given quite a lot probably. Oh no. All right, we have to be a bit accurate with this than it would appear. But that's okay. That's okay. Now, before I start doing that sort of a behavior, I will have one last squeeze of my stuff. And I'll I definitely can't see it because I thought I did have them. Could have sworn I had them. At that stage, I will go, you know what? You know what? There is one other place they might be, and this is a long shot. Real long shot. But first, sorry, I've got to roll back a bit. Here we go. Invite. Copy. And paste. And enter. There you go. Now, my blue box of bits. Where is my blue box of bits? Because that often is where I stash things and go, I'll keep them there. That's the sensible idea, and then forget about them. must be in the other drawer. Jesus. Aha! Blue box of bits. Now, it's not actually blue, it's clear, but it's got blue plastic on the edges. And that's reason enough for me to tag it the blue box of bits. Now, no. Oh, no. It's not looking promising. No. 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 All right. Well, that being so, we shall go through with our plan. Now, I may have found something that is kind of better suited. Kind of. And what it is, and the reason I was suggesting that it may be better suited is because it's from the sprues of the Italeri. So at that juncture, at least it's got a similar. Here we go. Now we're going to need. Oh, I can't use that one. Excuse me. It was it these ones I was looking at? No. Saw some that were really well suited to the purpose. Give us a moment. No. Oh, no. Here we go. These ones will do it, I reckon. Now we're going to start. Let's get a sprue cutter. This is going to be a little bit tricksy. Now, cover eyes or cover the. No, I've still got it. Yes. Yes, I have. Now, let's see how well suited in size this is to our purposes. Once I file it down and everything, it's pretty good. Look at that. Boom. So I reckon that if I did you see that? I should check that out. So yeah, got that. And I reckon it's not a bad little fit overall. So yeah, we'll roll with that. Once I get another one, then I'll file them down. And the only other thing I should probably do is, at risk of sounding like the Rolling Stones, paint it black. In this instance, however, I will use an acrylic. I'm not going to get that excited about it all. And then we're going to have a quick look at the assembly instructions. Now, to see how we go about the engines. Probably have next best options. Oh, this one here. Here we go. All right. Hey.
Hello.
Hey. You hear me all right?
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me on.
Hang on, I'll just turn you up a bit. There we go. All right. Just making some parts here.
So I'm just trying to find the not so messy side of the desk.
Pardon?
Just trying to find the not so messy. Let me check. My my thing might not be working.
Oh, yeah. Now, ow. Getting that one stung. Now, let's have a look. See, I hope I haven't lost it. And I've got one here. Where's the other one gone? Oh, Rob. Aha. Right. Winner, chicken dinner. So, what we'll do is give these a good filing. How much more do I need to trim? Oh, God, heaps. We're going to file that or trim it. I'm feeling brave. Okay, this is going to sting. The last one certainly did. Actually, I'll cover it over like this. Oh. There we go. I think, maybe. I think I have to do the rest with a... oh no, maybe there. Nah. Oh no. Oh, there's 1, 2. Okay, we're good. Let's just start filing, shall we? Once I've got the filing done, I would say it is decaling time. Although I'll have a look. Like I said, I'll have a gander at the engines. So you're painting some Warhammer?
Yeah, I just thought I'd do something just to get me doing something, really. If any of that makes sense.
Doing something is different's always good. I'm actually really keen to get. I've got this aircraft and 2 others I've got to get finished.
Yep.
And then I'm going to do. I'm going to start building Mustangs, not just cars, but aircraft.
Very nice.
I have plans for what I call a Mustang shelf.
A Mustang
Shelf.
Okay.
And basically, I've even gone to the point of purchasing a little Mustang horse figurine, because of course that's what a Mustang actually is. And I've got 2 cars and 3 aircraft in mind.
Oof.
So I'm kind of looking different evolution of the P-51 from P-51 to F-51, because they had a different designation. I'm also going to do. I have plans to do a car one stream, an aircraft one stream, and my 3rd stream of the week I'm going to do another type of shelf or themed shelf, the BF-109.
Nice.
This is one of my favorite aircraft.
I have had someone who has very kindly gifted me a 1:32 scale BF-109.
Nice. What manufacturer?
I think it's a trumpeter.
Right, I've never used one of their kits. I couldn't give any kind of take. 132 is a good scale. Good detail going on that.
You see, I've my scale is 1:48.
1:48, so it's bigger than normal for you.
Yes. And what frightens me is that I'll enjoy the scale so much that I'll have to buy everything in 1:32.
Well, I've my normal go-to is 1:72.
Yeah.
And there's a variety of reasons for that. There was always the scale I used when I was a kid. But of course, there's a greater range of kits to be accessed at that scale. You've got easier storage space, yada, yada, yada.
Yes. Yeah.
But with the cars, they're going to be 1:24. And although the aircraft will be 1:72. But I've also purchased these rather swish ICM 1:16 figurines, And I gotta say, they're a bit special, man.
Yeah.
Because the amount of detail on them is just, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I love my detail.
Yes.
So you know,
One of my many projects that I'm working on,
yeah,
Lancaster, and
nice,
I bought some pilot figures, and I
nice.
really enjoyed painting that.
What scale?
This is 1:32.
Woo, that's big.
Yeah. Oh yes, incredibly big. But you see, the only figures I've ever painted up until now are these, and
Okay.
I've stepped back for quite a while mainly because of the cost.
Yep.
They're absolutely fantastic figures. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not slating them at all. But what you get for what you pay,
Well,
you get small
yeah.
scale models.
That is the thing, isn't it? Now.
Yeah. And I'm lucky in that I don't earn bad money, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
wonder about people who don't earn as much money as me. How on earth do they manage?
Well, you can say that on so many levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I'm doing all right for myself at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for that fact because I know there's a lot of people who don't even have a roof over their heads, you
Yeah.
know? It's like,
Exactly.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. I mean, you got to keep it real, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Um,
I'm being a bit extravagant with doing the Hong Kong models,
I got to
Lancaster.
say, though, I have seen some pictures of it, some diagrams of it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is a sexy, sexy kit.
Oh,
Undeniable.
I mean, the border models is even more sexy, but um, the aim of my channel is always to do things that you can follow along with.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And when you rock up with a with a £1,000 kit,
Yeah,
you know,
well, yeah, I see what you're saying there.
yeah, I feel a little bit like Nigella Lawson. Oh, I just happen to have truffle mushroom thingamy bobby just
Well,
sitting in
everybody
my
does,
cupboard.
don't they? I mean, everybody's the daughter of a Chancellor of the Exchequer, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's just the way that, oh well, when I just happen to wake up at 2 in the morning, I just pop into my pantry and get my
The
slightly
mere
thinly
existence of the
strawberry
pantry
infused
is beautiful.
caviar, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
sit there going, oh yes, Nigella, I know exactly what you mean. I'm just the same.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I mean, I don't have the pantry to match yours, let alone the contents of it.
oh yeah, totally. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you wanted to go out get the ingredients for a certain occasion, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
let's not be kidding ourselves into thinking, yeah, we've all got that in our fridge.
yeah. And I don't want to be like the Nigella Lawson of scale models.
Yeah, I get it. I
But
totally get it.
at the same time, I don't want to bog myself down with doing all the starter sets all the
It is
time.
a challenge on its own as far as one of the problems I think I've had, because I've been doing streams for a couple of years now. I've only started to really get the hang of them a bit lately. I'm going to be doing a lot more uploading more than anything else soon. Well, not more than anything else, but I'll be doing uploading soon.
Yeah,
But the problem I've had is that trying to think of what can you show people that keeps them well interested.
yeah, yeah,
And you can't be constrained by stuff, but at the same time, one of the problems I've had is that I'm always keen to go on to the next project. And I found myself snowing myself under.
oh,
And that's like, well, that's not helpful either, you know?
yeah,
Now, these are going to be my two little bits for those vents. What I'm going to do, I reckon, is because I'm going to want to paint them at some juncture, at least to some extent. So we're going to put that one there. But yeah, and that's the thing, you can't, as you say, you don't want to be Nigella Lawson.
No.
Um,
I mean, don't get me wrong. The HPH 1 to 48 scale B52 will be coming to my channel one day.
oh, look, actually, I was going to say what I might do. I did this the other day for one of the, who was it I showed them to? Might have been Panzer. Anyway, once I've gotten this painted, before I get onto the decaling, I'll show you one of these figurines I've got, because I'm pretty chuffed with them, to be honest. They're pretty damn good. And, yeah, we can both have a bit of a drool over the detail. How's that roll for you?
Oh, that sounds fun.
Because, yeah, the detail on, let me think, I'll try and find a really one that's got lots and lots of bits on it.
Yeah, I am a bit of a detail freak.
Totes. I've actually done, and this is totally unsurprising, you'll probably think, I've made the sorry a moment, that's okay, I know what I'll do. In fact, that's fine. I was going to paint these black, but my black acrylic is over on another shelf, but I'm thinking I can always go the natural steel and then just put an oil effect on it, which is probably more appropriate to the vent anyway. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, and then I'll go and grab the ICM kit. There's another kit I actually wouldn't mind purchasing. I'm so stacked with kits, it's ridiculous, but yeah, like that really stops people, doesn't it? And certainly doesn't stop me. And it's just purely because of the novelty more than anything else. And it's one of the Japanese bombers, but it's got the markings of the Royal Thai Air Force.
Okay.
And I can totally understand why the Thai were decided with the Japanese. After all, they were pretty keen to be rid of the French. And who can't honestly say? No,
Well,
but so ultimately it was the Japanese who supplied the Thai with their military equipment.
mhm.
Hence why it's a Japanese bomber with Thai markings. I thought, well, that'd be a good novelty.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the other sort of like themed shelves I'm thinking of is doing a people of color.
Okay.
Because there was quite a few different cultures who flew, of course, in the Second World War.
Yeah, I might butcher the name. I'd like to do a Mustang in is it Tuskegee markings?
Yep, I've done one of them, and that's actually what inspired me to do a guy named Len Waters. Len Waters was the only Aboriginal fighter pilot of World War II.
Oh, fantastic.
And so I've got him. Now, I know there was a few Maori fighter pilots, most notably a guy named John Pohe. And he was one of the 50 murdered by the Gestapo at the Great Escape.
Okay.
So I'd really like to do his.
See, this is what makes the modeling that much more fun, isn't it? Once you get into the research, it's no longer just about doing a kit. That kit actually comes to actual life.
Yeah, man. That's the thing I've always dug, And I believe there was a Fijian fighter pilot. Now that's got to be done.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole new dimension of the term flying Fijians, which is a bit of a rugby term. And trust me, you get a Fijian winger, yeah, they're keen. Oh, try line, they want to find it. Anyway, the I believe there were a few Indian ones as well.
Okay.
Chinese, of course, yeah, going to happen. And the thing that would be interesting about the Chinese ones, though, is that they would have the insignia of what is now Taiwan, the Republic of China,
Okay.
as opposed to the
Oh,
star that everyone's familiar with, which is the People's Republic of China.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So that would make that kind of interesting on its own.
Please
Yeah.
forgive the big black blob. I have a cat that is free to do anything on the desk. Probably give him too much freedom.
That's
Well, you
funny.
you kid yourself by saying that you're in charge of the house, don't you?
Oh no, mate. We all know how the cat rolls.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this thing on Facebook, and it had a picture of a dog, and it was saying, dog understands X number of words. Gave a few other details. Faithfully, absolutely loyal. Da 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 da. Mental age 3. The next one was a picture of a cat with this look of be fucked on its face,
Yes.
saying, "Cat doesn't care what you say. He's
No.
sick of your shit." Mental
Yes.
age 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I read somewhere that if you have a dog and you died, the dog will sit with you, and then after
Yes.
about 2 or 3 weeks, it will start to eat you, but it will start with the extremities.
That's
whereas,
hilarious.
yeah. Whereas a cat will start on your face while you're still alive.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Not
It's
my
not-
face. Not my beautiful face.
See,
Oh,
my
fantastic.
cat, I claim he's very good. He doesn't wake me for breakfast. He sits on
Yeah.
my bed and waits for me to wake up, and then he's all over me. But the truth of it is, if I take too long getting up,
Oh, yeah.
he does come up and gives me a inverted commas affectionate nibble on the nose.
As you do.
Yeah.
All right.
So when I read that about a cat will eat you, will eat your face first and won't
The
actually
surprise
wait
is
for
just
you
not
to
there.
die. I'm like, yeah, my cat does that most mornings.
When I was a kid, I had grew up in a house that had 3 cats,
Yeah.
and one of them was the cat that ruled the house. And you did not mess with Tigger. He would let you know what was what. And I remember once one of my sister's boyfriends had this Doberman over. Nice dog, thick as 2 short planks.
Yeah.
And it was getting very excited, and it was doing laps of the house, like inside the house, because you could do that because of the way the house was set up. And at one point, he's come rushing up to Tigger, who's been curled up on top of one of the kitchen chairs, and basically just panted vigorously in front of Tigger, who was looked at him with this look of utter contempt, and pretty much got his paw into a right fist and smacked the dog straight to the chops. The dog has yelped and run off, and you think, yeah, Tigger did not like his esteemed repose interrupted. He was laying it down.
Yeah.
No, that's a bit clumsy.
But it's funny that when you said he was as thick as 2 short planks, the first thing that ran through my mind is, was he as thick as 2 short planks, or was that what he wanted you to think?
Nah, Toby, lovely dog he was. He was dumb.
Okay, fair enough.
Lovely dog, like I said. I liked him. But yeah, as far as of the dog world, not meant for material.
Right, that's my ugly layer done. When I do figures, I hate the first couple of coats. They always look so terrible.
That's always the part of the process, though, because like the first
Yeah.
thing I do on a kit is generally to give it a black wash,
Mm,
and it brings up all the detail, but it looks like shit.
it's
Now, what I ought to do is get a bowl of water for the deckling
nice.
with the
That is
deckling.
looking very nice.
Oh, thank you. Now, here we go. Now, let's have a good look at this. Oh, this will be easy. Check this out. You'd understand a bit of the frustration I have here. They give all the details for the basic thing there on both the US and British setup.
Yeah.
Nowhere through here do you get where the technical decals go.
Oh.
Yeah. So, with the exception of the ones that go on to the propellers.
Okay.
And it's a bit, well, shit, guys. Thanks for that.
Well, I would say the obvious answer: do some research. But the why should you have to? Isn't that the
That's
whole
my
point?
frustration right there.
Yeah.
A part of me is going, is it possible that the military just didn't give a toss? But no, they're usually more anally retentive about that shit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, part of the cost of that kit isn't for the materials; it's for the time that they should have been putting in to
Thank you,
produce that.
Lions, and thank you, War Boys. Yeah. Nonetheless, what I will do is I'm going to get some. Now, where are the brushes I would normally use for this purpose? I have a selection of what I call shit brushes
Okay.
that I use for a variety of purposes, including decaling. Because I wouldn't want to use my good brushes for that sort of caper.
No.
Now, these are my standard decaling numbers. And what we will do, actually, what first ones I'll do, I might as well get the ones on the propeller done.
Yeah. Get the easy ones out of the way.
Most of these will be pretty straightforward. They're, in fact, I can even show you and you'll be going, yeah, mate, if you can't do that, there's something slightly wrong with you. Boom. They're big and they're chunky.
Yeah. I do the easy ones first, and then I do the big ones.
Yeah.
Because once you've done the big ones, it actually looks like you made some progress.
Well, that's a thing as well. And you feel good about that after.
Yeah.
So, yes. Now, so we've got that propeller there.
I will say when any words come out of my mouth, other opinions do vary.
Yeah. Now, here we go. Now it is time. It's time to get the warm water and a mouthful of coffee.
Oh yes, don't forget the coffee.
There's some coffee here. Oh God, it's bad enough that I sing, let alone that I start falling into what is it, play school. Now, oh, dearie me. The old grey berry ain't what it used to be. Now. Dearie me, kids. Haven't been. There we go. Now, here's my bowl of choice. Deedly. Don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, but over here it's pretty chilly.
I don't know. I can't see out the window on account that it's 2 in the morning.
Here we go.
I'm currently going through this bad habit of I'm going to bed in the afternoon for a nap. So then I go to bed in the evening, and then I'm up at 2 in the morning, and then by the time I get to the afternoon, I'm tired, and it's just this terrible cycle.
I actually totally get that. It's very easy to do.
Yeah.
I fell into that as a matter of course because for many years I did night shift.
Yeah.
I was a bouncer. And so you sort of fall into that post bouncing, but it's not a healthy thing to do.
No.
And eventually I got to I decided that I was going to go to bed early and get up early, and I've been doing it since. And yeah, it's if you can get sort of commit to doing that, it's worth doing it. You'll probably have to sort of go through at least a day or two of flogging yourself.
Oh yeah. Well, the trouble is my new job doesn't help.
Employment is always a factor. Yes.
Yeah, it's I've just come off. I can't believe I didn't discover this job earlier. I'm now a tour bus driver.
A what?
A tour bus driver.
Oh, nice. That'd be cool.
Like holiday tours.
Nice.
And what I do is I drive for a bit.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets off and goes visiting. And I sit there for like an hour.
Yeah.
And then I spend maybe 10 minutes cleaning the coach to make it nice for them. The rest of the time, I'm just sitting there doing nothing.
Wow.
So I just push the seat forward, lean it right back, and I just close my eyes.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And do you know what? The reason I was skeptical at first, I have been for years, because you tend to get paid by the day.
Yep.
Rather than by the hour. Now, if you're doing a short day, obviously that's really good money.
Yeah.
But they can work me legally up to 16 hours in a day.
But that would be less common, I'm guessing.
Oh, well, the reality of it is I'm doing...
That's theoretically.
Yeah. The reality is I'm doing up to 10 to 12 hours a day. But of that 12 hours, I'm doing maybe 4 hours driving.
Oh, that's not too bad in many ways.
I'm just sitting there doing next to nothing.
That's not too bad in a lot of ways. It's got to be said.
And then we rock up at some posh hotel, and they say, "There's your room key, Penny. We've booked you a room. We'll see you at dinner in an hour." And it's wonderful.
Sweet.
I feel so lucky at the moment.
Well, and it's never a bad way to feel, mate.
I'm working in an industry where people want the money, but they don't want to work for it. So when the boss gets somebody who hasn't said no to a single job yet, he's like, "Oh, wonderful. Right. If you want the work, I'll give you the work."
Yeah, I used to have a rep like that for when I was working security. There'd be some work that some guys would go, "Oh, I'm not going to do that because, frankly, they're chicken shit.
Yeah.
And I'd just say, "You're right, no worries," and that was fine,
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I did schedule coaches a couple of years back, I had these constant discussions with my co-driver. He'd say, "Oh, this is a terrible company because we don't get this and we don't get that," and I'm like for example, he'd say, "We don't get our travel time from the bus station where we hand over to the hotel." And whereas my attitude is, well, I've never been paid to travel to work in my life.
Well,
You
no,
know, you get told to rock up at work at 9 o'clock and maybe it's an hour's drive. You don't
that's
get
your
paid from
problem.
8 o'clock. You get paid from when you turn up at work, don't you?
Yeah,
And
correct.
I've never been paid that travel time.
No,
And he says, yeah, but where I'm coming from a coach driver's point of view, where we've always had that, you're coming from a service bus driver's point of view where you haven't. So maybe that was a difference.
I'd say so. I mean, it's a
I
bit
mean,
like
where have you ever done a job where at the end of the day you get a posh hotel with a 3-course steak meal and then full cooked breakfast in
I
the
did
morning?
have one.
Oh. I mean,
But
don't get me wrong, some of the hotels aren't as good as others. They
however,
get,
there is a big but with this tale.
yeah,
It didn't go for long.
yeah,
The deal was because back in the day, this is going back 20 years, over 20 years, in fact. And the going rate for security back then was 15 an hour here.
okay,
But there was a gig we used to get, and was one of the ones who did it, where, yes, it was a big drive, but we'd get $50 for going up to this mining town, Roxby Downs, and on top of that, we'd get 25 an hour, and we'd also get a meal thrown in.
oh yeah, that's
And when I
good.
say a meal thrown in, I'm talking about oysters, steak, the whole box and dice.
Yeah,
And it was a pretty, as far as from a pay viewpoint, good gig,
yeah,
notwithstanding that the downside of the gig was you had to interact with some pretty feral situations. And in the end, I actually had to say to the boss, look, mate, I can't go up there anymore because all the bikies were after me.
yes,
I said, look, this is going to bring heat on the other guys, and it's already got my family stressed. None of
yeah,
us need this shit. And these were the realities, man.
yeah.
But had it not been for that, I'll tell you, it wasn't a bad little paying gig.
This is it. I mean, for me, I'll take the work for as long as it. I mean, I've only been with them for about a week, and what impressed me was their advert said that this time last year they had 2 8-seat minibuses. Now they've got quite a few school buses and they've got contract
Yeah,
work. And I'm
yeah.
sort of looking
So
at
there's
that.
backup options.
Yeah. And I mean, he said to me, what kind of work do you want to do? And I said, look, I'm not going to lie. I want the big bucks work.
Yeah.
But if there's no contracts going and all there is a school bus, then I'd be a fool to say I'm not doing anything.
Well, yeah.
But
Ultimately.
but it's all experience. Mrs., I've got a black cat hair in my paint now, thanks to
Oh,
you.
no.
Oh, you're lucky that you are very pretty and I love you so much. Otherwise, I would have you on a skewer. But yeah, it's all experience for me and it's all money.
Yep.
And I've done very well. And let's not forget, because I'm in tourism, I get tips. And I was very shocked at the tips I got on my last job.
Yeah.
Almost a day's wages worth of tips.
Wow.
Missy, you are a pain. If I don't get one cat, it's another.
I was going to say one of the other great payment stories of my time in security. This is funny, straight out funny.
Yeah.
That when I was at uni, which is where I first started doing security, there was a organisation, unsurprising in many ways on the uni campus, the National Organisation for the Reform of Marijuana Law.
Sorry, say that again.
The National Organisation for the Reform of Marijuana Law.
Okay.
And they organised this big show for fundraising called Weedstock.
All right. Yeah.
And asked if I'd help be one of the guys prepared to do security. Yeah, no worries. And long and the short of it, I got paid quite well. I think the going rate, as I said, was 15 at the time. They paid us 20.
Nice.
So a good start to proceedings.
Yeah.
But I've rocked up, and there's, I think it was something like they'd rolled over 300 joints just to be passed amongst the crowd.
Okay. What, they've just like rolled all these joints to say, well,
yeah, they'd rolled about maybe even 400 of them.
Wow.
And I've rocked over and said, "Here, grab some." I'm there going, "All right." And I just walked out because I knew a lot of people were at the uni. So as soon as I saw them, I went, "Oh, here, have one. Here, have one. Here, have one."
Fantastic.
It was an awesome day. Yeah.
You see my real life problem here with painting.
Oh dear, oh dear. Sorry, I wasn't.
This is how I paint.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not helping the cause.
You don't want to push her away, but at the same time, she is in the way.
Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh at your inconvenience. The cat doesn't want to know about it, does he? She.
See, now, Shadow, the big one, he's quite simple in that when he wants fuss, he's all over you. And then 15 minutes later, he'll just go and sit down on a cushion and he'll just go to sleep. So when he wants fuss, you drop everything and just give him 15 minutes. And then you've got a good couple of hours of not being hassled. But now, once he's finished, this one starts. But she's like, the more fuss you give her, the more she's like, oh, great, I can get lots of fuss. Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I'm here then, you, Missy. Come on. Come
on. I got to say, I miss having pets. They're always a great source of entertainment.
Yeah. Well, because they've got used to me being away. I think they really take advantage of when I am.
Oh, I'd say so. And who can blame them?
But it's one of the reasons I quit my last job was I was just getting fed up being away for 3 weeks at a time.
Yeah,
and then doing these tours, I said to the boss, I go, I don't seem to be home any more than I was before. It's just that I'm away short spells of time rather than 3 weeks.
Well, that's a big difference on its own, really.
Yeah. But I mean, I've got a 4-day tour coming up. So I'll be away for 4 days. But I'm home this week. Got a couple of little private hire jobs. That was quite nice. I took 6 guys last night, or 6 people, to a Queen tribute night.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah. And it's nice. You as soon as I pick them up, you just sort of look at them. They're kind of middle-aged, hard-working kind of types.
Yeah.
They'd slipped a little bit of alcohol in their bags, usually to save money versus the bar. And then you sort of look at them and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be picking them up. They're going to be a little bit tipsy, but still on that merry stage. And that's exactly how they were when I picked them up. The
Tipsy's
women
fine.
had a little bit of struggle getting in the bus on account of how drunk they were. But it was all good fun. And then tomorrow I've got some probably stuffy people going to an airport.
Oh, yeah.
So I much prefer people picking people up at the end of their holiday rather than taking them to the airport to go on
I can
holiday.
understand that.
Yeah.
Well, here's a funny post-holiday story for you. When I went to, this is when I was working like 6 nights a week on Hindley Street in Adelaide, which is regarded as the roughest street in town. And I'd just gotten back from holiday, and the comment was made, "Geez, Rob, you seem grumpier now that you're back from holiday. You should be more relaxed." I'm there. No, mate. Having to deal with this shit again has just brought into sharp contrast how much of a good time I was having.
Yeah.
And because, when you're on holiday, of course, it's all good.
Yeah. Yes. That's the trouble, is you get used to it, don't you?
No, you do. And I mean, I'd also just come back from Thailand and China. And when you've got in Thailand a 27-1 exchange rate we were experiencing and 5-1 in China,
Yeah.
gee, you get to be like the cat in Red Dwarf. That's mine.
Oh yeah.
That's
mine.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah.
Except that bit. I don't want that bit. That's not mine. Because you can.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember Bangkok was one of the few times. There was a couple, mostly all, in fact, all the times I've been to 5-star restaurants, Asia.
Yeah.
And why? Because I can afford it there.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at a holiday out there once, and I mean, I don't know if the prices are much different, but you're talking 5-star hotel, the equivalent of about £10 a day.
Yeah, mate.
Which is about an hour's wage.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
If you're a Westerner and you're not having a good time in Thailand, you're just doing it wrong, mate.
Yes. Yeah.
It's here's a funny Thailand story for you, though, because when I went over there mostly to do training. Some guys from the martial arts school I was at.
Okay.
And one of the people who went with us, because our instructor went with us as well, because we were going to go train under a Thai instructor. Our instructor was mostly in Chinese martial arts. I digress. Anyway, and one of the people going with us was a 16-year-old lad. And we've hit Bangkok, and he is hellfire keen to go down Pat Pon Road, which is where all the strip clubs and stuff are, and all the markets. Pretty much everything's on Pat Pon. And anyway, and he hassles, and he hassles, and he hassles. And eventually we go, all right, we'll go. And we catch a taxi down to Pat Pon. He gets out, first bar he sees, boom! He's in like an eagle out of the sun. And he comes screaming out. He hadn't looked closely enough at the signage. And he, who was at the tender age of 16, was pretty homophobic. Had just run into a ladyboy bar.
No, I was wondering when that was going to come up.
Yeah. And you think, well, mate, this is the thing. You need to pay attention.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's just like, again, I mean, yeah, the whole thing there was just, it's almost comedic, really.
Yeah.
But as far as it goes, actually, to be honest, when I was there, I didn't actually even see any ladyboys. I'm told it's a big thing.
You probably saw more than you thought.
I'd say you're probably right. I'd say you're 100% on the money. I was just howlingly oblivious is what I was.
If you go to the to some of the gay clubs in where I live, you everyone sticks out like a sore thumb. But
although
in
you'd be
Thailand,
surprised again. I mean, here's something to consider. I mean, I used to bounce at a gay bar years ago. And first time I went there, because I went there with some friends, as you do. And of course, you've got to meet people before you go and work there.
Yeah.
So I've gone in, no worries. Yeah. Anyway, while I'm there, I've seen this smoking hot blonde piece. Oh, Lordy, she was hot. And she's grooving. She's pumping. And she's checking me out. Quite overtly, in fact.
Okay.
And so much so that one of my mates who's there is there, mate, have you noticed I'm there? Yeah. He said, and are you going to I'm there? Yeah, go and watch. You just hang chill and I'll make the play. And fortunately for my good self, it's at that stage that another guy came up and said, so who are we talking about, fellas? I'm there. That little number over there. He said, yeah, there's something you need to know. There, yeah, what's that? Said, that's a bloke. I said, you can't be serious. Because I was quite wide-eyed to this whole. And
yeah,
once I started working down there, it was one of the better-known trainees who went by the name Sian.
Yeah.
And I've heard Sian mince around behind the gay bar, then answer the phone with "G'day, Mars bar."
Yeah.
You think, well,
yeah.
But yeah, again, done up. Tell you what,
I think places like that, you've got to know what you could be bumping into.
Oh yeah.
You hear so many stories of when someone comes back from a holiday from Thailand and you say, did you have a good time, mate? Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, but I haven't got time.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's it. And you're like, you weren't quite as prepared as you should have been.
There's a Family Guy episode where Brian joins the police force because they become aware that his nose is able to smell coke from quite a significant range.
Yeah.
And indeed other things. And Quagmire's coming back from wherever he's flown to. So how good is your nose? And Brian's sort of a sniffing thing. And he's there. You're back from Manila. You had, can't remember what the meal he says, for dinner. And then you had sex with 2 Filipino women.
Yeah.
And a man. You mean 3 Filipino women? And they all just look at him pointedly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh! Yeah, totally.
But yeah, you're reminding me of my student weekend away to Amsterdam, and you are currently talking to quite possibly the most naive person at the age of 17 ever. I thought it was it's just started college, weekend away, great.
Yeah.
A lot of people at that age haven't been away from parents on holiday, have they? And
totally get it.
Myself and my friend went, and we went, let's go for a walk around town. and first thing we came across was the sex museum. So we were like, oh my God. And we went in and had a look. It was really good exhibit actually, but it was because obviously everything's so open, you know, especially in the 90s, British were known for their prudeness.
Let's not be shy now.
I'm seeing all of these things that people just don't talk about in normal society. And then you've got brothels. They're like shops. People are displaying themselves in the shop windows.
This is what I well,
And when you think about it, it's a really good way to do it, isn't it? You know, if you could see, you go into a greengrocer's and you see the vegetables before you buy them. You know, you go into the model shop, you see all the models before you buy them.
You should know what you're getting.
Yeah. You don't go into a model shop and say, yeah, can I have a B-17? And he just goes around the back and pulls something out. There you go. You're stuck with it now. And then we got back to the hostel, and one of the guys that was part of the party, we thought he was ill, and we were like, oh, you must have eaten something, and he was just completely out of it. It wasn't until I got home that I realized it wasn't something he ate.
That's funny as well.
Yeah, but I had a friend, he went out there. I was a much older, and he'd gone out on this holiday to Amsterdam, and I said to him, be careful. I don't know an awful lot about cannabis, but I know there are different qualities of it. And generally, as a general rule of thumb, what we get in the UK is all the crap that the Dutch, you know, it's not good enough for the Dutch. Yeah. I don't know about so much now. But it used to be all the crap that the Dutch won't touch, they used to send over to the UK.
Yeah, right.
So you'd get these kids go over from the UK, and then they'd be buying. There's a reason why Dutch people won't smoke a whole joint in one go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then you get these kids go over, and then they'll visit 2 or 3 cafes, and they'll smoke a joint in each cafe. And they are very, very ill.
Funny that.
But also, if that's all you've ever smoked, you're used to it.
Well, yeah,
you know,
that is the thing. I remember because there's the thing with a lot of weed these days is that it's hydroponically grown.
Right, that is far too big a word for me to understand. But I get.
Here we go. When I was a teenager, most marijuana was grown outdoors.
Right.
Like most crops. It was an outdoor harvest. Over here in Australia, the weather's quite good for it. A lot of it was grown over here.
Yeah.
Now, in more about, let me work out. Oh, God, 30 years ago, I guess it would be now. What started to arrive is stuff from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And it was grown in what's called a hydroponic environment.
Right. Is that the one with all the lights?
Bing.
Right. Gotcha.
Correctamundo.
Yeah.
Now, how that then operates is they're able to have far greater control over the quality of and intensity, because the active ingredient is what's called tetrahydrocannabinol.
Yes. TCP?
THC.
Yeah, right.
Now, with that, where it had been outdoor, the percentage of THC was quite low. You were talking, about 9%. It wasn't very high.
Right.
And if you got hash, you were getting up to around the 50%, and hash oil 80 to 90.
Yeah. See, that's what I used to deal with when I was younger, is the little blocks of black solid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, hydroponic weed is a lot stronger than that. than the
Right.
normal caper. I think possibly 2, even 3 times as strong.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that
Now,
must be dealing with when I was a teenager, the difference between the UK stuff and the Dutch stuff.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for those of us who had already been smoking outdoor weed and built up a hearty resistance,
Yeah.
the arrival of the hydroponic weed was nothing more than, wow, this is really good stuff.
Yeah.
For those who were not so well versed,
Yeah.
it was nothing short of a bitch slap to the face, and you try and recover from that shit.
Yes.
And of course, with excessive use, oh dear, messy
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
So these are the things. Now, as to if you've been doing that from the out, that's why, I mean, I know in more recent years, that's why there have been people who have developed mental health issues.
Okay.
Certainly over here, from THC use or from weed use.
Right.
And I attribute it to the fact that the weed they're smoking from the outset is enough to tranquilize a bloody horse.
Right.
Whereas, as I said, when I encountered it, I'd already been smoking for a few years. I had this tolerance that would probably sink a Panzer.
Right.
And so, wasn't quite such a shock. And that's a big thing all on its own.
Yeah. See, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know an awful lot. When I was younger and I used to work at a nursing home,
Yep.
we used to do long weekends, and I would become so tired that I actually couldn't sleep. And my uncle says, "Oh, try a little bit of this,
Yep.
and it helps chill you out." And that is pretty much the extent of my usage. And
Well,
and
it's
I
a very
haven't,
effective way of doing it.
yeah, I haven't touched it now for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point now where I don't need it.
Well, that's fine too. I don't
I-
drink, you see.
Yeah. I know a guy who had epilepsy, and he
Yep.
kept that under control with cannabis use. And my general attitude is, what you do in your four walls is up to you. It's not
Well,
going to
that's
get
it,
me in
isn't it?
trouble. Yeah. The only thing I won't have anything to do with is anyone who touches heroin.
That's an ugly business.
It really is. I did know.
Ugly business, that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've dealt with a couple of people that were on that, and it's. I mean, I used to be one of these people. Oh, that's terrible. Why, and then you sort of suddenly realize, well, nobody wakes up one day and says, I know, I'll become a heroin addict.
No, there's a whole process to becoming one of those.
Yeah. And then there's a process of getting off it, because if you aren't fully committed to wanting to come off it, nothing's going to work.
The worst part about the whole thing there's two things that are absolutely horrifying in my eyes with regards to smack. One is that it completely numbs the person. They are clearly so in such a mental state or even physical state that they want to kill everything, and if they kill themselves along the way, they don't really care, and that's messy.
Yeah.
The other thing I find horrifying about it is, or tragic about it, is that for them to get off of the gear, they can't keep the same friends.
Yeah. Yes.
That's where they think, oh, they can. Well, no, you can't, because they are on the gear still, and they're going to want you to join in.
Yes.
And that's really tough.
Yes, because you don't. Any addiction, it's not just the product you want to take away.
No, there's a whole stack that goes with that.
Yeah. If you were coming off alcohol, you wouldn't go down the pub and drink Coke, would you?
Well, no, you couldn't. No,
because you are Yeah, you're surrounded by people who drink alcohol.
Yeah. Go down the
And
pub with your mates, and what do you think's going to happen?
yeah, and you are surrounded by people who don't, while they might be supportive, they don't understand.
No.
I mean, I've never been an alcoholic, but you know, my
Yeah,
attitude is, well, why can't you just have one? Surely that won't hurt. Actually, it will. Apparently, it really will.
yeah, it does, apparently.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, my attitude towards alcohol is it's a combination of I don't need it and I can't. More often than not, I'm driving tomorrow, so I can't
yeah,
drive.
yeah.
Um, During one of my last tours, I had an extremely rare half a pint,
Yeah.
and that is extremely rare for me. But actually, that sums it up because a lot of the people on the tour, they were saying, "Oh, have a pint. You've worked really hard today. You really deserve it." And I'm like,
Yeah.
is that not the first stage of me getting really drunk that night? Because
Well,
it
it
could
can
quite,
be.
yeah, it could quite easily turn into a nice sociable chit chat. And then at the end of the pint, I'll say, right, well, I'm going to have to disappear. And then somebody else will say, no, come on, stay a bit here. I'll get your next one in. And the next thing you know, you're driving a coach around an island that you don't know when
Yeah.
you've had about 10 pints the night before.
Yeah, it's suboptimal, shall we say.
Yeah, yeah. So you'd
And
even if you're not addicted to alcohol, you still need that willpower to say, nope, that is enough.
yeah, look, it's the reason I actually stopped drinking was because I was doing weights. I used
Okay,
to play A-grade rugby.
nice. That's like top level, is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And top level beneath provincial. And I discovered, and this is where it gets kind of amusing, that I could, if I had just a couple of beers in a night, that would take up to 10. Oh, actually, you do pounds over in the UK, don't you? Take up to 20 pounds off my bench press the next day.
Really, really?
Yep.
Wow. Because
I could,
rugby is a drinking sport, isn't it? It's
it can
uh,
be. I didn't drink while I was playing seniors or senior
yeah,
level.
but at amateur level, it's one of these sports that
Oh, yeah,
it's
there is a
not about
drinking
the
culture.
playing the
Yeah, yeah,
rugby.
yeah.
Yeah, it's about the pub afterwards and all the drinking games
Oh,
and if you're able to walk home, you haven't done it right.
that's the historical way it's been. Yeah. Alex said I didn't generally drink, although on one occasion I did take part in the. They were doing tequila laybacks.
Oh,
Oh dear Lord, dear Lord! I got righteously hammered on that,
yeah.
but that was the only time I did. Even when I was like 7, I was playing A's. I what I did discover, and this is where it gets, as part of our earlier discussion, gets kind of amusing. Whilst having a couple of beers to take 10 kilograms off my bench press the next day, I could smoke like a train, as in weed,
Yeah.
strut down the gym and tear it apart.
Wow.
And there's actually, yeah, I remember going down there once. I'd had a big session down the tavern that is. And as I strolled on in, the people behind the counter are saying, you going to be right down there, eh, Arnie? That was my nickname, Arnie.
Yeah,
You can get the idea of what sort of.
I can see how they get Arnie from Rob.
Yeah, well, I was the biggest guy down the gym. What can I tell you?
Fair enough.
And so I'm there. I'll be fine. I've gone down there and I've started doing my thing. And I've come out about 2 hours later, which is about how long I used to work out for. And
Oh, come
the
on.
new guys behind the counter now, they were in stitches. What's the matter? They've had people coming out of the gym for the past 2 hours saying, "My God, he's off his chops and he's tearing the place apart." And they'd been watching on the cameras going, "Oh my God." It was fun.
Come on, this is too much now.
Kitty cats.
Yeah. See, it's the more fuss I give her, the more she wants. That's the. She just doesn't understand this balance of I love her so much, but I just want to be able to get on with things.
Now.
See, this is the trouble with getting up early as well. They get a bit confused because I normally give them breakfast as soon as I wake up. So I woke up and
so they're thinking that there's going to be food coming.
Yeah, so that could be it. I need to sort of teach them, look outside, it's black, no breakfast. You know, look outside, daylight, it's time to eat.
Right. Almost got this side done, but I may need to scooch very shortly. I have various things to attend to.
Fair
as
enough.
one does.
That's fair enough.
I reckon, let's have a look. I might just leave it there for now, and then I can finish everything tomorrow. Now, here's something I wouldn't mind checking in the meantime. Because I've got the propellers done, I can get the... Let's see how well that wheel's holding, shall we? Not well, no.
So have you got much to go on that?
No, not really. I've just got to fix this. The biggest issue I've got, as far as it goes, is there's a wheel I need to fix. Otherwise, it's not going to stand. Beyond that, once I get the decaling done, I can do the decaling and any final touch-ups on the paintwork tomorrow.
Nice.
I might even get any... I would like sometime today to fix that wheel, because that's the thing that's a bit of a problem at the moment.
Yeah.
I would like... It's not impossible that I could even get this finished this week. And I would like that, because then I can get onto the B-17.
Nice.
And then I can get onto the Lavochkin, which will be a very short, sharp, and shiny op, and then I get onto my Mustang shelf. Wait, before I go, I know what I'm going to do. It'll take me about 10 minutes. Give me a moment.
It's all right.
I can afford to take the 10 minutes out of my time. I'll show you one of those ICM kits I was telling you about.
Oh, yes.
Give me a moment. Now,
while you're getting that, I will go and get my future project. I will be about 1 second.
Jolly good. Actually, here's a one. We'll go with maybe... Yeah, that's actually, yeah, we will go with that one. Alrighty. Now I got these. Right. Oh, there we go. I got this one.
Oh, very nice.
Pardon me. What I got it for was because it was part of a series. I got the whole series, and I thought they're all pretty cool. Now, this one, as you can see, is the... Hang on, I should probably zoom out a little. There we go. Is the Beefeater.
Yeah.
And give me a moment. The box itself is actually pretty sturdy. I like the way they've done that. Dear Rob, what are you doing to yourself, boy? Now then. Give me a moment. I've clearly opened this already, and it's now... Here we go.
ICM do good boxes, don't they?
Well, it's sturdy. Now, one of the things I do like about this kit, and indeed all of their guard kits come with this little feature that I think is kind of cool, is there's your base, but they give
Mhm.
you options on the different types of.
Nice, different paving slabs.
Yeah, you can even just go straight out like that if you want. Or actually, no,
Yeah,
that's the base of it there. Then you put that on top, and you got different paving if you want.
yeah, and then because one of them is plain or a bit more plain, you then have the option to base it yourself,
Yeah,
like a
how
little
good's
bit of
that?
sand or something, sand and PVA.
Now, here's the cool parts, though. Look at that.
Oh, that is really nice. See, I would like to do one of those big figures because, like I say, I've only ever done these figures,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I know how to push the detail on them.
Look at
Um,
that too. They've got the patterns on the
oh,
tunic.
that is beautiful. So
Um,
with this scale, you see how I've managed to push the detail,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a figure. Now, what I've been told is the amount that you push the detail is dependent on the scale. So
yeah,
something larger, you don't push the detail quite so much. So
yeah,
it'd be
yeah.
a new challenge for me. And stockings is an interesting one because
Yes. Well,
the
here we
way,
go.
yeah, the way that you have to get it darker around the ankles than around the
Yeah,
calf.
and you got the little thing around the neck.
Nice. The rough.
Oh, wait, no, here's the rough, so that'd be something else. Dearing. Oh,
Okay.
that would be the shoulders. Here's the rough there.
I like that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, no, here we go. That's the bit that goes on the hat, because there's the hat
Ah,
and there's the rim. But
nice.
yeah, and
You
of course,
will have fun with that.
oh, yeah.
Have you
Oh,
done
yeah.
anything like that before, figure wise?
No. And of course,
Right.
here's the pole arm and the sword.
So, will you be doing that with metallic paints, or will you be doing non-metallic metal?
I'd be going non-metallic.
Oh, nice. I'll be into that then, because that's something that's interested me.
I'd be going for what I'd be wanting is very rich colors,
Yeah,
because all of these kits in this range, of course, you're talking about these are dress uniforms.
yeah.
And with one exception of one kit that I got that is not actually part of this range, and that is one that I got that's a Viking. I also wanted to get a Centurion, but they didn't have one. Or they do, but the shop wasn't their suppliers didn't have one.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
one for another day, then, isn't it?
well, that's it. But at the end, when all is said and done, yeah, I'll probably want to go for fairly rich colors on that one. I'm just gonna, and yeah, I think pretty much richer is better.
Yeah.
For that sort of cloth. You want it to be really deep colors.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably something that I'll do. Maybe so. I might do a couple of weeks on my. As I said, we've got my Mustangs and my 109 planned. What I might do is then maybe do them for a couple of. Jesus, a cat.
Oh, I can't stop her at the moment. She's just
No, that's quite apparent.
Yeah. I keep trying to. No, she's back. Right. Oh, so this is my future project, and I've kind of opened a wormhole here because that's the project.
I've got that one.
But I'm told that the interior in there is quite naff, and that one is a better interior, but it will fit into that. But I've just decided I'm actually going to go with it like that because that's not the scheme I'm going for. And I think this is absolutely amazing. but a lot of people don't like it. That's the scheme I'm going for.
Ooh,
I know.
interesting.
Assembly ships.
You see, that sort of a scheme, I wouldn't say I dislike it. I'd say it's interesting because I know the US Air Force at that point in time did some very
Yes.
outlandish paints. And
Yes.
if you're prepared to put the time
Well,
in, that's curious.
it was something that I picked up on. I came across it by accident.
Yeah.
The term Judas goat. They call them Judas goats.
Okay.
Because so you had and it all makes sense. You imagine you've got a mission of like 200 aircraft.
Yep.
It takes some organization, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
And so you'd have the lavish painted aircraft. These are all aircraft that have come to the end of their life. They paint them all up in bright colors. So everybody lines up against their relevant assembly ship.
It's like yeah, this is where you focus to.
Yeah. Then once they're all lined up in formation, they go and land again and everybody else goes off on their mission.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, which is
It's like
where
your
they
paper
get
car.
Yeah, which is where they get the nickname Judas goats from, because traditionally the farmers would have a trained goat. All the other goats would follow this one. They would go to slaughter, but the Judas goat would be brought back ready for next time.
It's a bit of a harsh rap on the poor goat.
Yeah, but I just think it's brilliant. And this particular one, they painted it all white, but they actually left the turrets the original color. So this turret there is green and this one is silver.
Interesting.
There is just little touches of the old aircraft. Yeah. And then because I'm not going to rip the insides of this one out,
yep,
I can then do this one at a later stage as a serviceable aircraft.
Yep.
And I just thought, yeah, I could rip all, because as I say, this one apparently has got the better interior, and this one is.
I've been doing the B-17F. I've been doing that one. It's the 72 Memphis Bell you got there.
Yep.
Based on the interior that I've got, because yours is a 1:48. So yeah, the interior is pretty specky on the 1:72.
Yep.
Is that the trumpeter one, the B-17G?
Actually it's a Rebel, but it's the same kit as the Monogram.
Okay.
I think it's Monogram mold.
It's got a better interior than the one I've got. That's pretty swish, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's all I'm saying.
But it does look, I've looked at the instructions and the interior does look good. But to be honest with you, by the time it's all closed up and everything,
yeah,
you're not going to see that much anyway. And if that is your exterior paint color, are you really going to be looking for the interior that much?
I'm with you there. I totally see what you're saying. However, I'm a hapless sucker. I always do all the detailing and then I look afterwards and go,
no, I'll do the absolute best job I can on the interior, but why not use the interior of this one on this one? And then
there's no reason why you can't do that at all.
Yeah. So, because otherwise I'm going to end up, I've bought 2 kits to do one. Why not have 2 kits to do 2?
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Because if I put the interior of that one into this, then the other option is to do the interior of that one into this.
Boom.
So I think I'll just do them as 2 separate kits.
Yeah.
And with this one, obviously it's because it's a lot plainer on the outside. You want the better interior. This one's all going to be white and blue, and no one's really going to care about the interior so much. But this is what makes me laugh. This is the decal sheet. So we have the expected stars and that, and then the P, and then there's some of the dots.
Yeah.
And then there are some more.
More of the dots.
And there are some
more of the dots.
Yeah. The only issue I've got is the color of the dots doesn't match that, and it should. So I think I'm going to paint all of that on.
I was going to say, yeah, could you airbrush it?
Yeah. Well, I've got a Cricut machine, and I can reproduce these as masks.
Nice.
So I'll just do that, and I'll paint them on.
Nice.
Because also then if you paint them on, you can then get them very slightly irregular then, can't you?
Yeah.
Which I think would look slightly more realistic.
Yep.
And then I'll just use the decals for the lettering and the numbering.
Yeah, cool.
Which will make my job of decals so much easier.
Yeah.
It's just doing all the circles.
Yeah. Ultimately.
Yeah. So, right. Well, thank you for having me on your show. It is great.
No, my pleasure. I'll okay.
You won't believe I tidied my room today, would you?
Pardon?
You wouldn't believe I tidied my room today, would you?
I'd believe. I've had the experience of tidying. Because I've moved house, I've tidied my place up, and then I've gone and looked. I go, oh, I've got all this.
Well, my two biggest aims is to get all of my scrap wood out onto the balcony.
Yeah.
But if I can see in that corner there,
yeah.
You can't see it. No, you can't see any of it. There is a 1:12 scale route master, which nobody has ever seen because there's a big pile of crap in front of it. In fact, bear with me. Yeah, I think that's now starting to become visible, isn't it? Not much, but it is starting.
All righty.
And then once I finish the shelves off, I'm going to get some cabinet lighting.
Yeah, nice.
But it's a beautiful kit, but it's just a shame to be hidden. It's there. There's the front, and there's the back. Yeah, there's not quite enough lighting to see it properly.
Oh well, you have to show us when it's a bit more.
I need to sort this camera out because it's too low. It's got a really, really good zoom, so I don't need it that low.
Yeah.
And then you can see things like my gauntlet and the ET and the Terminator better. And that's nice. Now that you're about to finish your stream, my two cats are in the living room and hallway playing with each other and not bothering me on my desk.
Well, hopefully they'll enable you to do things that you are otherwise planning on doing.
Yeah, well, I've got a load of things. See, trouble is I have a lot of things that I'm working on, but I'm filming, so I can't do them on a stream. Like this little bad boy. This is the new Airfix Shannon class lifeboat, which I don't think it's really ideal as a starter set. You know, there's a lot of work need doing to it.
Yeah.
But it's nice they give us all the paints.
Yep.
So,
alrighty.
Right.
I'm going to go solo now, and I'll hopefully catch you. I'll be on tomorrow.
Well, if I'm around. I've got a very early silly job tomorrow. So.
Well, I probably won't see you tomorrow then.
No, probably not.
All right. Well, I'll be on. We'll also be on. I'll see you at some stage anyway. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty. See you.
All right, then. Take care. Thank you very much.
Alrighty. That's me done, everybody. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Now, if you're a first-time viewer, there's a magic button for you, and that's follow, like, or subscribe. It's very simple. If you'd like to track me down on other platforms, I'm Rob the Builder on Facebook and YouTube, Robster the Builder on Instagram, Twitch, and Discord, and Rob the Builder and Food Monster on Twitter. Can you guess what I'm about to suggest? I think you can. It's follow, like, or subscribe. Alrighty. That's me done now. As you would have heard me say a minute ago, I will be back tomorrow. I'll stop. Yes, I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back at the same time, what's more, and we will do some more and get on our C-47 and get ever closer to completion. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Until then, I will be back tomorrow. Same kit time, same kit channel. Hopefully, I'll catch y'all then. See yous.